All right, section 5.3, we're going to talk about some inequalities in one triangle. Just to define what an inequality is, for any real numbers A and B, A is greater than B if and only if there's a positive number C such that A is equal to B plus C. So just a super basic example here, 5 we know is 2 plus 3. And so 5 is greater than 2 and 5 is greater than 3. Okay. Here are some rules that you probably talked about in Algebra 1 with inequalities. When you studied them, you'll probably talk about them in Algebra 2 as well. But why this is important for us, here we're going to look at an exterior angle inequality. Okay. And so the measure of an exterior angle is going to be greater than the measure of either of its remote interior angles. Okay. So we know from earlier in the chapter, section 2, I believe, of chapter 4, that the measure of an exterior angle is the sum of its two remote interior angles. Okay. Again, that's from section 4.2. But since we know that 1 is the sum of 2 and 3, then we know that whatever the measure of angle 1 is, it's going to be greater than the measure of angle 2, and it is greater than the measure of angle 3. Okay, since the two of these added together equals that exterior angle, the exterior angle is going to be bigger than either of them individually. Okay, so an example that we're looking at here, which angles are less than the measure of angle 7? First, I'm going to look at triangle KML. Okay, 7 is an exterior angle for triangle KML, and its two remote interior angles are 4 and 5. So we know that the measure of angle 7 is going to be bigger than angle 4. It's going to be bigger than angle 5. Okay, and then since angle 5 here is an exterior angle for triangle KJM, 5 is going to be bigger than 1 and 2. Okay, and since the measure of angle 5 is bigger than the measure of angle 1, that means 7 is going to be bigger than 1 as well, by that transitive property of inequality at the top there. And then since 5 is also greater than the measure of angle 2, 7 is also going to be greater than 2. Okay, so 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 are all the angles that are going to be smaller than angle 7. Okay, next we're going to talk about the angle side inequality. Okay, and what that is, we're just looking at the measure. First, we're going to look at the measure of sides. Okay, so if one side of a triangle is longer than another side. Okay, so like here, the length of xy here is longer than yz. Okay, then the angle opposite the longer side has a measure greater than the angle opposite the shorter side. Okay, so again, xy is bigger than yz. So angle z here, that is opposite xy, is going to be bigger than angle x, that is opposite that side yz. Okay, vice versa, if we switch and we look at the angles, the measure of angles, if one angle of a triangle measures greater than another angle, then the side opposite the larger angle is longer than the side opposite the shorter angle. Okay, so in here, since the measure of angle J is bigger than the measure of angle K, that side opposite angle J, so LK, is going to be longer than that side that's opposite angle K, which is JL. Okay, but both of these points can be summed up with these two pictures. Okay, the largest angle is always opposite the longest side. Okay, and the smallest angle is opposite the shortest side. Okay, that's the big takeaway from this angle side inequality in just one triangle. Okay, now if we're going to list angles in order from biggest to smallest, we want to look at our sides from longest to shortest. Okay, QR here is our longest side, so the angle opposite that, angle P, is going to be the longest. Okay, then 8.8 is next. Angle R is opposite that side PQ, that's 8.8 units long. And then since 7.5 is our smallest side, that's our shortest side, angle Q is going to be our smallest angle. Okay. Example 2 here. Again, biggest to smallest, so we're looking for the biggest side length first, and then we go across the triangle. That's our biggest angle. Okay, then we go to our next biggest and across the triangle. And then our smallest matches with our smallest. Okay. Now, if we want to list the sides of the triangle in order from longest to shortest, we're going to look at the angle measures, okay? This triangle here, we don't have all three angle measures. So I'm going to find that third angle first. Okay, remembering that the sum of 100, or the sum of all three angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Okay, so this third angle up here is going to be 78 degrees. All right. Now again, longest to shortest, we want to look at our angles biggest to smallest. Okay, so angle F is our biggest angle. Opposite that is GH, so that's our longest side. Next comes the 56-degree angle H. So FG comes next in our order of side lengths, and then since 45 is the smallest, FH is our shortest side. Okay, last example here. Don't forget that if we have a right triangle, these two angles are complementary. So that missing angle X here is going to be 39 degrees. Okay, 90 degrees is going to be the biggest angle. So opposite that 90-degree angle is WX. That's our longest side. 51 degrees comes next. So YX is our next longest side. And then our shortest side is going to be opposite our smallest angle, which then is WY.